So this lesson is going to be about how you can use the multiplicative inverse in order to solve for our unknown value. So we're going to look at two examples, and you're going to be thinking about what you notice and what you want to remember so that you can do this on your own in the Desmos activity. So notice in both equations we have an unknown value of x. So our goal is going to be figuring out what's the number that we would put in for both of these x's that would in fact make it true. And by true I mean that it would be equal. So you might already know what we have to multiply 7 by in order to get 42. But the way that you would be showing that with your multiplicative inverse is the following. So this means 7 times x equals 42. So if you want to know what this x is, right, you basically want to know the value of 1x. So what we learned was that the multiplicative inverse is going to be the reciprocal of this number right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 7x and we're going to multiply it by 1 over 7. When we do that, we end up with 1x, right? 1 times 7 is 7, and 7 divided by 7 is just 1. So we're in fact left with 1x. But whatever we do to one side, we need to do to the other. So we're also going to multiply 42 by 1/7. We multiply our numerators. 42 times 1 is 42. And then we divide by our denominator, which is 7. 42 divided by 7 is 6. So in this case, x is 6. So if we were to think back to our original equation, we want to make sure it's true. Is 7 times 6 42? Yes. So you may have not thought of it in that way, and that's okay. We use this thinking to help us with problems that we might not know just by looking, like example 2. So this one is saying 2/3 x equals 6. So 2/3 of some number is 6. The other way we can think about this is 2 times x divided by 3 equals 6. Once again, if we want to know what this x is, if we're trying to isolate it, we want to be left with 1x, right? So we're going to multiply by the multiplicative inverse. So the multiplicative inverse of 2/3 is 3/2. So we're going to take 2/3 x and we're going to multiply it by 3 over 2. We know that that gets us to 1 because this becomes 6 and this becomes 6. And 6 divided by 6 is 1. So we're left with our 1x, which is our goal. But whatever we do to one side of the equal sign, we have to do to the other. So we also need to multiply 6 by 3 over 2. And then we multiply our numerators. That's 18. And then we divide by our denominator. That's 2. So x equals 9. Again, let's check and make sure that that works when we replace x with 9. 2 times 9 is 18. And 18 divided by 3 is in fact 6. So this is how we can be using the multiplicative inverse to solve equations.